Disclaimer, this idea and video was recorded prior to 3.1 releasing, but I think that is a good thing, as due to the technical issues I was unable to post it, and due to information revealed in 3.1, as well as Remiel's A Day of Silence trailer, I have instead reinstigated the theory. The main premise is kept the same, but details have been added, which I believe reinforces theory further. Please take this into consideration, and thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day. Hello, and welcome to another ZZZ theory of what happened to the original Void Hunter group, as it's clear a fracture occurred, and I'll be trying to categorize them and assume which sides each member went to. Firstly, to preface this theory, it relies on the idea that a rupture, pun intended, occurred within the original Void Hunter group, and I believe it's to do with the members having to choose their side of pro-creator and anti-creator. The reason I believe that this is the reason they broke up, and the reason is over the creator, is because it seems the most reasonable explanation for why it would have occurred, as I believe that it was because of the original Void Hunters group idea and mission of conquering the Hollows. Their means of going about conquering the Hollows differed from their original intent, due to the creator misguiding certain individuals and not necessarily corrupting, but coercing or manipulating them, or just corrupting them to their side instead of their original ideals, goals, and their original intent, if that makes sense. This misguiding could have been done with promises, knowledge, and other things I will be going into, or even potentially a friend of theirs misguiding them in the creator's stead. Firstly, for the figurehead for the pro-creator side, I believe, and this person I believe is the reason that the other members of the original Void Hunter group went to this side, I believe that Archie is the figurehead for the pro-creator side, as not only did they disappear into Hollow Zero after the group had run its course, but it's clear that Helios was running enchainer experiments and other potential things to create a higher form of humanity, or ethereals, or even a hybrid between both. I'm willing to assume Joyous is also a pro-creator side, and this is because of the Divine Maze event, as they were presented at the end as the mastermind behind it, as not only were they accumulating ether energy, but they also couldn't find the hollow core for the Divine Maze, leading me to believe that either Joyous' Karma core is for the Divine Maze, and that Joyous themselves became the enchainer for the Hollow. This would explain their extended lifespan, as well as the ability to extract memories and use them for the environment, as we know enchainers can enforce rules or manipulate the Hollow seemingly. And this would explain their ability to reshape the environment from memories. Lastly, for the pro-creator side, I will be placing Sunbringer. However, I want to first preface this by saying I believe that Sunbringer and Joyous are not true followers of the creator, as I believe they were coerced or convinced by Arche into following the creator, as in Arche was pro-creator side, and then he convinced them or misguided them to follow him instead. So they aren't, Joyous and Sunbringer might not be openly pro-creator, if that makes sense. And the reason I believe that Sunbringer is pro-creator, but not a pro-creator person, is due to the seeming tension between Roskalifer with the creator, as shown in 3.0, and I also believe that Sunbringer, who is supposed to have a love for humanity, would not willingly or knowingly have their friend Vike be corrupted and pretend it was an accident. We also know that Helios and Roskalifer have a pre-existing connection and working past, especially with the Rosetta data prototype in Meridian Hall, as it seems to be based on or similar to the HDD screens, especially the old TV navigation mode that was first brought about in the original game when it first came out of ZZZ. This leads me to conclude that Archie was either misguided or convinced by the creator, and then Arche, during the enchainer experiments and the division that came after, misguided Joyous and Sunbringer, as I do believe there is a reason why Arke follows the creator, or not follows necessarily, but aligns themselves with the creator. And the reason I believe this is I believe that the creator is how Arke became so knowledgeable about ether, enchainers, and hollows, full stop. This is a side theory for this, and it will explain why, as I believe that the creator gave Arke their knowledge on ether, enchainers, and hollows, and Arke may have wanted to use this to conquer hollows or the creator in the first place. And if Arke is an actually good person, as I believe they would still be potentially a good person, and their intentions may have been pure, they instead wanted to become the enchainer for Hollow Zero and affect the creator, as it's clear that to the creator, at the moment, it's not able to physically interact. So it might have been possible for Arke to become the enchainer and adjust the rules of the Hollow they govern, and maybe Arke is using this against the creator for the ability to manipulate a hollow to use it against the creator, if that makes sense. This would mean that Arke is still a good person, they just horribly went around it the wrong way. They were misguided and they were fooled by the creator, but it would still explain why their mission is the same it was. Now for the anti-creator side. For the lead figure, I will be naming it as Remiel, as I believe not only because of what happened for her having to kill Vike and the Enchainer experiments, it's clear that she's anti-creator and is seeking revenge for what happens. This would explain why she assumed Sunbringer and Arke knew or failed the experiment on purpose, as they were working together supposedly on this project, and I assume it would have been an equal working relationship. And this further strengthens the Arke misguided Sunbringer idea, and because Arke is currently unknown in their whereabouts in Hollow Zero, Remiel might have hoped Sunbringer would have told her, but unfortunately, when she came to Oscalifer, Remiel only found the 3 mini-bringers instead. The Swordmaster is clearly anti-creator, as their family, lineage, and descendants have continued to serve and act as guardians, with a prominent example being Miyabi, the current Void Hunter, and the current wielder of Talus. Next, the leader of the Falkenhayn mercenary troop, I can't remember if I'm saying that correctly, my apologies. The leader, who served alongside Remiel and Vike, would most likely follow Remiel, as not only did they all work to push back the Dark Wall, it's safe to assume they would also resent Arke and Sunbringer for what happened to Vike. The final side theory and this is another one I thought of recently, for the troop leader is potentially all related to the storyteller. But I will go further into those details in my storyteller video. For the final part of the video, this will be about confirming a rough timeline of the group splitting up, what happened, and just a summary. The events of this timeline would be Arke falls to the creator's influence. Next, the original Void Hunter group all forms, each member going about doing their own things, but alongside, roughly, I would say, or before or after Arke falls to the creator's influence. The reason I'm saying this is because I don't know off the top of my head if there is concrete dates or times for when each Void Hunter became a Void Hunter. So they all became Void Hunters. Arke, during this time, falls to the creator's influence. Then the Void Hunter group is formed. Next, Arke misguides Sunbringer. Then the Enchainer experiments, and its failure happens. The split occurs, and I'm going to say that after the split occurred, Joyous either follows Sunbringer, and this is because the relationship of Bangboos and Carrot Data and proxies with Joyous being the original proxy, if that makes sense. But during this split, Arke enters Hollow Zero, Joyous leaves to the Divine Maze, and the other members go about their things. Sunbringer goes to Oscalifer, bibbly bobbly boop. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch, and I hope you have a nice day. Please let me know what you thought about this, Thank you very much for watching or listening. Have a nice one. Bye.